Jason has his rent payment on the Sunday night football game right now. He's sweating out the last few seconds of the game and is about to win. Just as things look to be finished, the away team throws a Hail Mary pass that gets batted around in the end zone and finds its way into the hands of their star receiver. Everyone on the team is excited and they're celebrating a absolute miracle play. This miracle, however, cost Jason all of his money that he had to his name. Rather than accepting the loss, Jason fires up the trusty credit card and starts scoping the lines for Korean baseball games. Gotta pay the rent somehow, right? Leo. Leo was watching that very same game and can remember times in the past where crazy plays like that backfired on his own bets. Leo was sick of having his life trapped in the cycle of addiction, where his financial security depended on events that he had no control over. He's been away from gambling now for a year, and rather than panicking after that crazy play, he decided to go to bed for some quality sleep. Because after all, he needs to get up at 6:30 tomorrow morning to hit the gym. Today, we're diving deep into the world of gambling and the all too common temptation to chase losses. There's a lot that goes into this impulse to chase and try to win back your money, and it was something that I did too for many years. After you chase your losses long enough, you start to question what you're even chasing anymore. My name is Rob, and I'm a recovering compulsive gambler. I made my last bet on November the 12th of 2022, and since then, I've made it my personal mission to help you to learn the truth about gambling and get into recovery for a gambling addiction faster than I did if you want to quit. Through my own experience, I've learned a lot about the warning signs of a gambling addiction, and I wanted to share them with you. After losing, did you feel you must return as soon as possible and win back your losses? I sure did. Before we begin, I want you to smash that subscribe button if you want to leave the chaos of gambling behind you, or if you want to become better educated about the risks that gambling poses. Chasing losses is a concept familiar to many gamblers. It's that burning desire to win back what you've just lost, and it often arises after quite a long losing streak. Let's consider why people feel this urge. Gambling can be an emotional roller coaster with highs and lows. Winning releases dopamine, a feel-good neurotransmitter in your brain, which can lead to excitement and thrill. Losing, on the other hand, triggers disappointment and frustration, which can be very uncomfortable, and is often taken out on those around us that we love most. While Jason will lose $100 more than he had originally planned after getting frustrated that his bets did not hit and wanting to get his money back instantly, Leo knows that once he starts gambling, he can't stop. He learned that through the years of riding that emotional roller coaster a gambling addiction produces. He avoids making that first bet, knowing that regardless of a win or a loss, it would put him back on that cycle. As human beings, we're naturally wired to avoid pain in our lives, which includes losses. Chasing losses stems from the psychological principle known as loss aversion. It's the idea that we'll go to great lengths to recover what we've lost, even if it's not rational. If you get yourself into debt by gambling, it's very illogical to think that you'll get yourself out of debt and into a better situation by doing more of what caused the initial problem. Even if you were to win your way out of debts in the beginning, it would only be a matter of time until you're in the exact same predicament again, because you could easily convince yourself that you can win your way out of any bad situation until, eventually, that situation becomes so bad that you're drowning in debt with no chance of winning your way out. Now that we understand the temptation, let's get really practical, and let's dive into the risks associated with chasing losses. To win back losses, many people increase their bets. A lot, thinking that a bigger bet will lead to a bigger win. Unfortunately, this strategy leads to even greater losses. Jason would lose $10 on his first bet, so he'd double it and try to win and try to get even with the next bet, gambling $20, and then $40, and then $80, and then so on, and so on. Things would keep getting worse as the bets would get bigger until the point where they were unmanageable and sent him into significant debt. Leo too went through situations like this in the past, but is now thinking more logically since he's almost a year away from gambling. Instead of making that first bet, Leo has started a new side hustle business, and he's channeling his competitive nature into trying to turn a profit his very first year in business, something that most businesses don't do. Chasing losses can take a significant toll on your emotional well-being. The stress, anxiety, and frustration can negatively impact your mental health. And that's not even factoring in the financial consequences and the mental health issues that can cause when you're chasing losses, which can be devastating. People can end up in crippling debt, affecting their lives and the lives of their loved ones, as you could spend years working to rectify the damage. I can't tell you the number of shifts that I worked for free in my life, meaning that I was working to pay into debts that I already had incurred as a result of my gambling. While Jason would be working a second job to pay down debts and actually continue to lose more money during his shift gambling than he actually made from the work, Leo knows that the best road to the repayment of our debts is through hard work. It might not be moving as fast as the money seemed to be moving when he was gambling, but he's also not losing anything. And so each day he would creep closer to his goals until he eventually paid off all of his gambling debts 6 months after quitting. The question asked at the beginning of this video was, after losing, did you feel like you must return as soon as possible to win back your losses? It's one of the 20 questions often used by 12-step support group meetings to determine if someone has a gambling problem. Answering yes to several of these questions might indicate a gambling addiction or some kind of gambling problem, and I'm going to be diving into the rest of them in upcoming videos. So once again, make sure that you're subscribed so that you don't miss those when they come out. Chasing losses in gambling is a very dangerous behavior that can lead to severe consequences. If you find yourself trapped in this cycle, or you know someone who is, it's very crucial that you seek help and support for yourself or for that person. If you recognize that you or someone you know is chasing those losses and may be dealing with a gambling problem, there is absolutely hope. Reach out to a therapist, a counselor, or check out a support group meeting specialized in gambling addiction. There is professional help also available to help guide you through the recovery journey. If you're ready to start the process of recovery, but you're not quite sure where to look to start, check out the description down below where I've linked a free PDF guide filled with resources to help you get started in your recovery journey. Remember, gambling should be a form of entertainment, not a path to financial ruin and emotional distress. So if you're treating it anything like I was, it's time to leave the ways of Jason behind and start to try to be more like Leo. All of that is going to happen one day at a time.